Hello friends, welcome to Insights ICANN initiative. Today's video topic is Chandrayaan-03. This topic is related to SNT and it helps in both prelims as well as mains point of view. In this video, we are going to discuss about why this Chandrayaan-03 is in news and the Chandrayaan-03 mission, further details, challenges on landing on the South Pole. Generally, this lunar missions generally they land on or near the equator of the moon, but this is about the South Pole, sir. What are the challenges associated with that? Then we will discuss about why the ISRO wanted to explore the South Pole, especially the water availability and any rare earth minerals and all these things. Then we will compare the Chandrayaan-1, 2, 3 in terms of which year and which launching vehicle we used and what type of fuel and what was the objective that we will do. And we will discuss about some of the payloads present in Chandrayaan-3 and we will discuss about different kinds of moon missions. Various types we will discuss at the end of the video, students. And this is about Chandrayaan-3 and Chandrayaan-3 launched by ISRO. Chandrayaan-3 launched by LVM Mark 3, that is GSLV Mark 3. This is about LVM 3. This is about the launch vehicle and in this stages, 3 stages. One is the solid stage, the other one is the cryo stage, the other one is the liquid fuel. 3-stage launch it is going to be, and this mission included both lander as well as rover. It is a lunar landing mission, students. Okay, and this mission is not going to include the orbiter because already orbiter was included in the Chandrayaan-2. Chandrayaan-2 orbiter still functioning. In Chandrayaan-2 only lander and rover they got damaged. That is the reason now we are sending only lander as well as the rover, both of these by using GSLV Mark 3, students. Okay, now we will see it is India's third mission to the moon. Previous 2 missions are Chandrayaan-1 and Chandrayaan-2. This third mission successfully launched on 14 July 2023. Chandrayaan-3. So obviously it is what type of exploration? Lunar exploration. Here one question to you, students. What about the Chandrayaan-1? Chandrayaan-1. So in Chandrayaan-1, which country helped to India in Chandrayaan-1 launch, as well as the discovery of water by Chandrayaan-1? Which country or which space agency helped in that operation? Okay. So this, as I mentioned earlier, this is going to test the soft landing as well as the roving. Soft landing means land in a very gentle manner. In Chandrayaan-2, the landing was very hard. That is the reason lander as well as the rover both got damaged. This time they are aiming for the soft landing. The lander we are using here Vikram, as well as the rover we are using here Pragyan. It is not going to have an orbiter. The orbiter is already present in the Chandrayaan-2, students. So it is this mission is going to contain rover, lander and propulsion mode. Propulsion mode, it helps to establish the communication between the lander, rover to the orbiter. That is about the propulsion module, students. Rockets. The rocket we are using here LVM 3, launch vehicle Mark 3, also formerly known as GSLV Mark 3 rockets. That's how it will be implemented. As I mentioned earlier, so this is going to be implemented in a lander rover configuration. And if this is successfully implemented, then India is going to be the 4th country to launch this type of missions. Already 3 countries succeeded in soft landing. They are US, Russia and China. It is the 4th one to be going for the soft landing. Previously countries such as UAE tried, Israel and India tried. These are the nations which tried previously, students. Chandrayaan-2 and Chandrayaan-1 already here. The next slide we will do the comprehensive coverage between the comparison between the Chandrayaan-1, 2, 3. So Chandrayaan-1 launched in 2008, 2 2019, 3 2023, 14 July it launched. Main objective lunar surface, studying the surface of moon. Here the studying of lunar surface as well as the to land the rover. Okay, to land the lander as well as rover. But lander and rover got destroyed. Here it is also about the testing the soft landing capability on the south pole of the moon. Here the components, Chandrayaan-1 components are orbiter as well as the moon impact probe. Moon impact probe means it will impact but it will not land softly. it will just hit the moon in a very rough way. So we will get to know so that experiment that is about the moon impact probe. Here orbiter, lander name is Vikram and rover name is Pragyan. Same names we are using here, propulsion module, lander as well as rover. Here Chandrayaan-01 launch vehicle PSLV, here the launch vehicle GSLV Mark 3 and here the launch vehicle Mark 3. These are the launch vehicle, students. Next, challenges. The challenges is normally lunar missions, they are aimed to launch near the equator of the moon, but this one we are landing in the south pole. The south pole terrain is uneven, so it is obviously challenging one. And whereas landing at equator is very hospitable and very easy to land. So because of the extreme temperature and because this south pole is always towards the shadow region of the moon, there is no lighting and extreme temperature. These are some of the challenging factors for the landing of this Chandrayaan-03 in south pole. So why ISRO want to explore, why ISRO want to land in the south pole? To explore the water resources which is trapped in the ice crystals in the south pole of the moon, as well as some scientific discoveries related to some rare earth minerals. And by exploring the moon, we also can know that the formation of earth as well. Okay, because scientists are believing that studying of the moon can give clues regarding the materials and conditions that existed in the formation of earth and moon system. And of course, if we succeeded in this Chandrayaan-03, we can make some global partnership regarding these projects in future, so we can explore with a joint collaboration. Already Indo-Japan collaboration, that is a LUPEX, it is also aiming to send both lander as well as rover by the year 2024. Okay, so these are some of the significance regarding the Chandrayaan-03 in south pole. LVM-3 launch vehicle Mark 3, as I mentioned earlier, it is using in the 3-stage launch vehicle. That means it uses solid stage, liquid stage and cryogenic engine. So 2 solid propellants, and the core stage includes liquid stage as well as the cryogenic stage. The specialty of launch vehicle Mark 3 is it can send satellites up to the weight of 8,000 kg. That means the higher satellite can be sent by using launch vehicle Mark 3. So if launch vehicle Mark 3 succeeded, then in future we can use this one for the Gaganyaan also. Okay, where the payload is going to be more higher. Next, Chandrayaan-03 payloads. It contains propulsion module. This propulsion module contains spectropolarimetry of habitable planet Earth. It is known as SHAPE. In MCQs, they may ask this kind of questions. And a lander. Lander, it includes RAMBA, that is radio anatomy of moon-bound hypersensitive ionosphere and atmosphere. It is a passive instrument. It is developed by NASA. It will measure the distance between the Earth and Moon. Another instrument, Chandra's surface thermophysical experiment. It is known as CHAST. CHAST. It is to measure the thermal conductivity and temperature. Thermal conductivity and temperature. Next, ILSA, instrument for lunar seismic activity. It is to measure seismic activity around the landing site. So where it land around that landing site, seismic activity will be checked. Next, Langmuir probe LP. It is to estimate the plasma density and its variation. Plasma density and its variation. These are some of the instruments which are present in this kind of lander one. Next, what are present in the rover payloads? One is alpha particle X-ray spectrometer. The other one is the laser induced breakdown spectroscope. These are some of the rover payloads. Now we got the information regarding the lander payloads as well as the rover payloads. Next, what are some other missions that have been launched so far? Flybys. Flybys means they are not going to hit the moon and they are not going to land on the moon. They go past along the moon. They are known as flybys. They are not going to orbiter also. Example, Pioneer 3 and 4 by USA, Lunar 3 of USSR. Next, orbiter. Orbiter is the one which orbits around the moon. Best example, Chandrayaan-01. Okay, Chandrayaan-01 was the orbiter. Impact mission. Impact mission 1, it is not going to land on the moon, it just impact in a rough landing. That is about the impact mission. It is going to do the rough landing on the lunar surface and it will be destroyed by that kind of impact. Example, moon impact probe. It was an instrument of Chandrayaan-01. In the comparison, previous slides we already discussed about that. Next, landers. Landers means they land and they fix there stationarily. They don't move. That means there is no rover, only lander. That is Lunar 9 spacecraft of the USSR. This is about the lander. It is not having the rover. Whereas rovers are the movable ones. In Chandrayaan-02, Chandrayaan-03, we had both lander as well as rover. And in this, the rover name was Pragyan. And finally, human missions. Already NASA Artemis project is all about sending human onto the surface of moon. These are the human missions. So these are the various missions about the are related to moon. Then Chandrayaan-1 already we discussed. Chandrayaan-1 launched in 2008 and it contained orbiter as well as the moon impactor. Okay. In Chandrayaan-1, by taking the cooperation from NASA, both NASA and ISRO, we discovered the water presence on the moon. It was launched by the Polar Satellite Launching Vehicle. Chandrayaan-2, it consisted of orbiter, lander, rover. But the lander and rover, they got destroyed because of the rough landing. The orbiter is still functioning. That is about Chandrayaan-2. Chandrayaan-2 was launched by GSLV Mark 3. GSLV Mark 3. It was launched in 2019. So this is about some of the information regarding the Chandrayaan-3 students. And of course, the success of the Chandrayaan-3, it may encourage the younger generation towards the STEM, that means science and technology and engineering areas. So it is going to be the one of the path breaking in the India's science field. Last video question, which of the Indian states or UTs they share the border with the China? The answer is D. 1, 2, 4. J&K, Sikkim and Arunachal Pradesh, they share border with China. Next, today's video question, students. Today's video question, that is, consider the following statement regarding the Chandrayaan-3. It will consist only the rover and lander, Chandrayaan-3, and it will communicate to Earth via the orbiter from the Chandrayaan-2. First statement. Second, the Chandrayaan-3 mission is done in collaboration with Japan Space Agency, JAXA, which provides the rover and launcher. This is about this is about MCQ on Chandrayaan-3. Mains question. Discuss the India's achievement in the field of space science technology. How the application of this technology has helped India in socio-economic development. This is about the mains question. Okay. Anyhow, as we are reaching the end of this video, what we discussed in this video, we discussed about Chandrayaan-3 and its basic information, and what is the name of the lander and rover, the payloads present in the lander and rover, and we discussed about comparison between the Chandrayaan-1, 2, 3, why landing on South Pole is very difficult, what is the significance to landing on South Pole, and what are the various missions related to moon, such as flybys, impactors, human missions. Those are we discussed. And finally, we discussed about detailed comparison with the Chandrayaan-1, Chandrayaan-2, Chandrayaan-3. So this is about the detailed discussion regarding the Chandrayaan-3.